Hey, hey, everybody. We're gearing up for an awesome show this afternoon. I'm Roz B. Ask Roz B. Ooh, we got Mr. Victor Vonico Johnson talking about money mindset. How about that? Have you shifted from 2020 into a different mindset? Have you shifted your heart? Have you opened up the realization that your capacity can be improved, increased by what? Shifting the mind. Mr. Victor and the team. That's what's going to happen here momentarily. Team, let's introduce ourselves.
Good morning, good afternoon. Hello, everybody. Here's Melanie Williamson, Melanie Michelle, Credit Education, Credit Restoration. Glad to be here today. We got a great and phenomenal guest breaking down this whole money mindset. Come on in. Tell your friends to hop on right now, Facebook Live. Chris?
And I'm Chris Zeigler with the Zeigler Agency Allstate, Frisco, Texas. I can be reached at 214-870-4269. I'm excited to have my man, Victor Vonico Johnson, on the show today. He's going to have his mind on his money and his money on his mind. He's going to let us know how to make it happen and do it to it. Go ahead, Rhonda.
Hey, and of course, I am Rhonda Hutchison. I am the Loan Lioness with PRMG. Yes, so excited to have Mr. Victor Vonico Johnson as our special guest today. Hey, y'all need to get your mind right, and he's going to get your mind right on today. So excited about the show. We getting ready to get started in a little bit. What you got for us, Ms. Rob?
Let me take myself off mute. I tell you what, this money mindset is a big deal because, I was just walking this morning, and as I was walking around the park, I tell you one thing that I did see in nature, and y'all know I'm just deep like that.
Yeah.
But all the trees look dead. But you know what God told me? He said, they not dead, they just dormant. And yeah, they not dead, they just dormant. So today's show is a replication, and it's symbolic of an awakening that needs to happen in the mindset so that we can bloom, so that we can flourish, so we can go after all that God has for us. So this money mindset is going to be a great topic. So let us just ready, set, let's go. Let's grow. Let's go. So I'm Roz B. I'm your host today. Thank you for coming back to Building Wealth Together Radio. We are not on KHVN anymore, but rather we are streaming live on Facebook. Yes, we are. So if you're looking at this on Facebook right now and you want to pay it forward and get somebody else in the mindset to receive their money and get their money matters correct, go ahead and forward the video. Can you hit forward on the video and pay it forward? Just want to say hello to everyone. I'm your principal broker, CEO of Arbrook Realty. We're a full service real estate company here to serve all of your real estate needs. And we're building and birthing dreams, one client, one house at a time. And we're just going to take a deeper dive today. So let's go right back to where we were and introduce ourselves again.
Oh, here we go again. Hey guys, it's Melanie Williamson, Melanie Michelle is what they try to call me on this radio show. I am so happy to be here today. And you know what? My company that I represent is White Jacobson Associates. I represent them because they are attorney-based, credit education, credit restoration. So the sole hope is that you have accurate, compliant items reporting on your credit report. So in that 70 to 90% deletion rate is potential for those who have those inaccuracies. So we look at that credit report and we'll be able to help you get those things resolved. So give us a call. You can reach me at 469-403-8394. Chris?
Hey guys, this is Chris Zeigler, aka Zig, aka the principal, and I'm with the Zeigler Agency Allstate, Frisco, where my motto is customer service with what? A personal touch.
Personal touch.
Personal touch. And excited to be on here again with Victor, double VJ. I'm giving him a new nickname, Double VJ is on here with us today. So just so excited to have him on the show today as well. And I am a full service insurance agency from your personal lines like your home, your auto, your renters, your toys like your boats and your motorcycles, to your business and commercial, and your life insurance as well, and also supplemental insurance. And I just have a whole gamut of other things that I do too. That's just a small thing. I'm a full service one-stop shop. So Chris Zeigler with the Zeigler Agency Allstate. I serve the whole state of Texas. I can be reached at 214-870-4269. You need to call me or text me. Go ahead, Ms. Rhonda. The Lone Lioness.
The Lone Lioness. Hey, Chris, you're not going to outdo me. Hey, I am Rhonda Hutchison, the Lone Lioness. Listen, I roar. Passion and power. How about that?
Look, and she got that head movement going on with it, y'all.
Yes, she did.
I'm a residential mortgage lender with Paramount Residential Mortgage Group. Excited to be here. Give me a call. I can help help you with all your residential mortgage needs. Give me a call at 214-856-3747. That's 214-856-3747. Again, I know we've done our talk, and you guys can tell we're excited about our guest on today, Mr. Victor Vonico Johnson, and very excited for him to be our guest on today. Victor is an author, he's a serial entrepreneur, and he's also a coach, you guys. And if, like Roz said, if you have family or friends, please go ahead and ask them to join us on Facebook Live at Building Wealth Together Radio, because he's going to be able to give us some information to change our mindset completely for 2021. So, Mr. Victor, hey, take it away. Introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you, and just like you say, the floor is yours.
Thank you so very much, guys. I love this show. I followed you a few times myself. Building wealth together. That's the key for me, is the togetherness, right? Having everybody on here with various aspects of their expertise. And this is, like I told you guys in the pre-recording, it's like this is a one-stop shop for anybody that's looking to build wealth. So I hope folks are tuned in. I'm going to just share my screen real quickly just to make it a little easier for folks to kind of see who I am and what I do. I am, as you stated, an author of Proven Pathways to Wealth and Happiness is the name of my book. It came out in 2018, and it really talks about my own personal journey. Like, I was living as a grown man into my mid-30s with a horrible credit score, a 525 for most of that time, while I was running collection agencies. I was a director, guys, a director for a collection agency, teaching people how to collect millions and millions of dollars of debt. And then I'm going home dodging calls on my own, right? Mm-hmm. So there was a whole mindset change that I had to do to basically shift everything around. So back in 2015, really 2013, I really started getting focused on my finances. And I talk about in the book specific things that I did to change my mindset to a money mindset. So now I have multiple rental properties in 3 different states. I have 3 businesses that I'm a key leader in, or I'm the chief founder of 2 of them. And I also am married to an awesome realtor here in the house. So she helps me with my real estate investment projects. But I am here to kind of help everybody just peel back the onion of why your money is not where it needs to be. Some of you guys are making 6 figures out there, but still living check to check. I know I was. So I just want to try to help people kind of get some of that out of the way. Here's 3 or 4 tips that I'm gonna be able to offer to the folks out there that really changed my financial life and really helped me get on a path to building legacy for my family. So again, I'm the author of the book. You can get it on Amazon, or you can cut out the middleman and go straight to my website at the bottom. So I had to give Amazon part of my money. I think dude's sitting already pretty good. So let me get my own processing fees, please. Thank you so much. But I am a consultant coach, just like the Lioness mentioned. I coach most of my clients. I'm coaching through real estate investing. So helping them get to that first real estate investing project. And also I do some entrepreneur coaching and some credit coaching. So that's who I am and what I do. You can follow me. I met the Lioness, the Lone Lioness, Rhonda, on LinkedIn, which is one of my favorite platforms. People are serious about their business there. And so I really enjoy being on that platform. And that's why I'm even here today. So yeah, folks, we can dig in wherever you want to.
Yeah. I tell you, we're gonna hop in just a second. Let us open up
Okay.
in prayer. We want God definitely to meet us where he wants us to be. So every heart and head lifted to heaven. Father, we just thank you for this wonderful day that you've made. God, we're rejoicing and so glad in it. It's full of so many benefits. And one of those is Mr. Victor Vonico, God. He's a gift. He's a gift not only to us, but every hearer. And not just every hearer, but every doer of the words that he will bring forth today, God. His experience, his pitfalls, his successes, they will not go in vain, God. It's not just about the knowledge. It's not just about, God, the planning. It's about the action. It's the execution. And we thank you that you have so eloquently designed his words today to make such an impact in each and every one of our lives. So we're ready, we're getting set, and it's time to go, and it's time to grow. So we are open and we are ready, God. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen, Ms. Roz.
Amen. I love it.
Mr. Victor, you take it away. So in terms of the mindset, tell us the foundation of where you are coming from and why is that so important? So why can't you just have a skill? Why can't you just know how to make money? Why can't you just know how to go get that money bag and that's it?
Well, I wish it was that easy because ever since I was 16, I just wanted the money. I wanted to get to the money. But for some reason, it took me 20 years to figure out how to keep the money. I was bringing it in, but just wasn't able to hold on to it. And, part of that, it was, trying to impress other people, living lifestyles that, was beyond where my money was at the time instead of just pacing myself. And so, and a lot of us are victims to that. To be honest with you, most of us are, we're wanting to impress our parents. Then it becomes trying to impress our friends. And then we want to impress our neighbors and, all these type of things. But if we can just start focusing on us and what we're trying to build for our families or for the people around us, that's the first step to it. I really believe that we got to start there. So I did put a couple little notes together, 3 keys for me to create a money mindset. And again, the book is Proven Pathways to Wealth and Happiness. You can get a copy if you like. I also have a free ebook that I'll put the link into here in just a moment if anybody wants to download the ebook. But there were some key things. Now, there's several things. And first of all, I can't put every single thing I did, right, and to change my process and my mindset. But there was 3 key things that I started with. So we'll just dig right in. The first thing was I set some clear goals. There was a trip, and I used to live in Atlanta, and I had teenage kids. I was married and all that good stuff. And we would take these trips either to South Carolina or Florida because those were the closest states to us. And, I'm living check to check, so I'm pretty much waiting until I get paid to really plan out my vacations, renting cars on the day that I'm actually taking the trip instead of booking it in advance. Just all these little weird check to check things that you do to try to adjust. And so this one particular trip, we go to Florida. It was one of the worst vacations of my life because I'm trying to squeeze in what I would call a great week vacation with my kids and my wife. And it turned into like a 2.5-day ride down to Florida, 12 hours, ride back, get a traffic ticket. Just all this stuff was horrible, right? And so, the kids may not have felt it, but I certainly felt it as a man, as a father, as a husband. Like, man, I got to do better than this, and I'm a grown guy. Again, I was at 35 years old at this time. So what I decided to do at that time was this. I mean, literally, when we got home off of this trip, I pulled out a notepad and a pen and just started writing down what is holding me back. And that's a question that I would say for anybody watching and listening. You got to be real with yourself about what's really holding you back, and then write that stuff down on a sheet of paper. So I literally wrote down what are the obstacles in my way. Every single debt, every single, fear that I had, people that were around me, my environment. Just I started looking at what was really holding me back and writing it down. And then on the opposite side of the paper, I wrote down some things that I could do to counter those things. So for example, if I'm, if I was living check to check, okay, well, why am I living check to check? I went back and looked at the last 3 months of my bank statements, every single transaction, and figured out, I highlighted the things that I didn't need or that were unnecessary. They were wasteful spending or just wasted money on subscriptions or, those lazy dollars, as you will. And I just started basically cutting out we're going to stop eating out 20 times a week and we're gonna cut this down to maybe 5 times a week, including lunches and things like that. And so I really got clear on where I wanted to be with those goals. I needed to be out of debt within the next 6 to 12 months. My credit score needed to go from the 525 to at least a 600 is where I felt I needed to be. And I wanted to save a certain amount of money. And so I wrote those things down. And that was the first step to it. You know,
I got a quick question for you. A quick question for you. How did your family, because sometimes when you make those adjustments like that, you know, the wife, the kids, sometimes you make those, because I've been down that road too. I've shared that on the show as well. When we first trying to get our first house, we eat bologna sandwiches, peanut butter sandwiches, and stuff like that. My wife's like, I just can't do this anymore, you know. So how did you adjust to that? Did you have to make any adjustments, or what was the feedback that you got?
Absolutely. I'm glad that's a perfect segue into what I did exactly. So at the time, I found this app called mint.com, and a lot of people are familiar with that, but I basically downloaded Mint. And what Mint does is you basically load all your bank account information in there, and it categorized all my spending. How much is going towards rent? At the time we were renting an apartment, how much was car notes, you know, all of those food, all of that stuff. And so I didn't have to do much. Once we put that thing, once it categorized that pie chart for me, and we saw that we were eating out $1,000 a month, and the rent at the time was only $750. Like, how we eating more than we actually covering the roof over our head? Family meeting. Hey, let's get together. We're gonna sit down. Let's look. Let me show y'all what this looks like. Because the kids, the girls, you know, my son, they were eating out at lunch and stuff, and so they could see their activity as well. And I said, look, guys, what we are not gonna do next month, we're not gonna spend more money than we pay for rent. So it was a challenge to the household. Let's just find this $250 from not eating out as much. And just being honest with you, Zig, I was the one who had to cut back the first. You know, I showed them by example. I'm the one that's eating out a whole lot at lunch and doing all this stuff after work. And I just cut that out. They seen me making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the morning and slicing apples and junk and still coming home with no bags from these different restaurants. And so leading by example was the first thing. And then just challenging them to see if we could get that number under the amount of the rent. So next month,
hey, you know, Victor, you bring up a very good point. You know, somebody started me about 4 years ago on an app that would just literally journal my food intake. And do you know, when you consciously put down what you're eating, you're appalled at how much you're eating. And I think it inevitably makes your mind conscious of it. So you learn portion control. So I love that you enlisted an app to help you guys at least become aware. And I think that's what you're saying. First of all, you got to become aware of what you're spending. Where your money going?
Where is your money going? And that is the key. You know, what you focus on expands. So if you're focusing on your money growing or your debt reducing, it starts to play into your actual realization of it, you know. And then so we sat down at next family meeting and looked at it, and we did hit the number. We actually got the food number under the $750 a month. And so without working any extra hours, not taking on a part-time job, we found $250 in 30 days. And where did that money go? Towards my debt, a collection account. And I actually, even at one point, challenged the kids like, hey, every time we can reduce this power bill by X amount of dollars, I'll give y'all half of the money. You know, they were in a situation, we were paying them an allowance, and, you know, we had certain rules and things they had to do to get the allowance. We'll add a little something to that if we look at the bill next month and y'all have helped us reduce that power bill by $40. That's an extra $20 in your pocket. I'd rather get that to my kids than to the power company, you know what I'm saying? So those are the type of things that you do when you're building a money mindset. You're focusing on building your wealth and putting yourself in a position to where you can attract more favorable income opportunities. And it does start with really being disciplined with how you're spending the money that's coming in. Because a lot of times it's not that, you know, we make as Black culture, as a Black people, we have like almost a third of the spending power. So it's not that we're not making the money, it's what are we doing with it once it comes in.
Right.
Yeah. Well, right now through this pandemic, we've all had time to slow it down to crock pot versus microwave and actually look at everything. When we were challenged with, we look at our budget a little closer because we had to, if we had any drops in income, and now where's our spending going? It reminded me of back in the day when, every nickel and dime was accounted for. But I do love the idea of incentivizing for the youth in the household, because a lot of people out there, like myself, had college kids home that were supposed to be in the dorm. And when I say eating, and the refrigerator door stayed open, the lights were on. I mean, yeah. So that extra spending makes you crunch down a little bit more. And these tips are critical for us moving forward to 2021, for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, and when you think about it, to your point, Zig, I may have gone a little overboard in the beginning just because I was so excited once I saw the movement happening. And so there were things that I would do. Everybody was plugging cell phones in the wall at the time. So I went and bought a couple surge protectors. Everybody used this surge protector to plug your phone into. And since I'm the last one leaving in the day, I'm turning the surge protectors off so that we don't have lamps and stuff running 8 hours a day when nobody's home. And believe it or not, that 8 hours times 20 days in the month, you cut kind of deep into your power bill. And, again, saving on your lunches, just the little things, maybe I wasn't, I love to golf. So maybe I had to cut back on 1 or 2 golf weekends, and saving money. So again, I had to lead the charge as it pertained to that. But the big thing is, it started with me having a clear goal of what I wanted to do, and then kind of reverse engineering, how do I get there? Okay, well, if I need to, get this credit score up higher, that means I got to pay off these specific collection items, or I need to get this credit card utilization down. That's X dollars. So I need to find those dollars.
Victor, I don't mean to beat a dead horse. I like to ask those questions that, people won't necessarily call in or chime in and ask. And, I like to go, I'll just say, to the underdog. I cut for the underdog.
Yeah.
What if you don't know what a clear goal is financially, or where your life is heading? I mean, do you have any even baby steps before you even get to goal setting that can help people kind of untangle themselves in a web? Like, all they know is the life they live based on the habits that they've had. And when you don't know better, you don't do better. Or when you've not had an example, you don't know. And, any road will take you anywhere. You just don't have a compass. So Can you speak to that?
Yes, I absolutely can, because I was that dude. So I kind of lived in 2 households. My mom was extremely entrepreneurial. And then I moved to Atlanta, where my dad and his family were. They were postal workers, extremely structured, processes. And it was kind of foreign to me. But talking to my sisters, they kind of had that same mentality coming up. It was like, well, nah, what do you mean? I'm just going to go get me a good job and do that for the next 40 years. But what we got to kind of realize is that we're in a different world. First of all, we have a lot more exposure to things. And so the first thing I would say is to really kind of think about, what do you want out of life? Like, don't worry about how the money's going to come, but what is it that you really want out of life? What do you want to see for yourself and your family? Do you want your kids 20, 30 years from now to be still working 30, 40 years and, making minimum wage while others are passing them by? So you kind of need to just expose yourself to new things, new environments. And that's where I talk about my own environment. I had to kind of change my circle a little bit. I was the king of my circle. Well, that's not good, because I was in debt and living check to check. I don't want to be the king of that circle.
Would you say a big fish in a little pond?
Exactly. So I needed to get out and expose myself to some people that were talking differently, had set for bigger goals. The conversations got completely different. And I was fortunate in that by me changing my mindset, I started attracting more favorable income opportunities. Job offers was coming to me that I hadn't even looked for. And one of those job offers was an opportunity to move from Atlanta to Austin, Texas. And, they flew me out and, did all this great stuff. And that to me, once I got exposed and I'm seeing all the fresh water and people jogging and just healthy and just people just happy with life, you know, and I'm just like, man, this is a little bit different than what I'm used to seeing, where it's just traffic, stress, grind, bills, and then do it all again the next day. And so I would just say for those people out there, get exposed to something different. And you can do it online. You don't even have to go anywhere, but just start exposing yourself to different things, radio shows, building wealth together information, going out, you know, and if you can, if you're comfortable with networking or doing online networking, just drop yourself into places where people are talking differently than what you're hearing at this time will be one thing. Definitely that environment.
I do understand that. And I'd just like to segue into an announcement about that, you know, putting yourself in a different mindset by shifting yourself in a different room. You got to be willing to be uncomfortable and, you know, where, look, you're not the smartest one in the room, that everybody makes you uncomfortable. So I'd like to just say, you know, that was kind of my thinking when I was introduced to My Econ. My Econ is a debt-free company out of Georgia, and they offer financial literacy like on steroids. It's like an MBA. Not only do you learn how to get out of debt, they do have an application that helps you see where your money is going. In income shift by moving that W-4, adjusting, making those adjustments to have more money in your check, and credit, and trading in the foreign exchange market, and stock options, futures, you know, just things that we have been really oblivious to, or thinking that we can't play in that field because we're not smart enough, we're not good enough. Well, I want people to understand there's no experience, there's no background check, there is nothing needed but a yes and some grit and some, I'm going to do this. So if you're willing, if you're listening out there, if you're willing to come on board and move in a different circle, talk a different language, learn a skill that will pay you for life, that's recession proof, you should call 469-750-8495. That's 469-750-8495. This is good stuff, BWT, isn't it?
Yes, indeed.
It is good.
It's funny you said, I'm gonna piggyback on what you just said too, Roz. In fact, that's how Victor and I met at a organization we're both members at. It's a mortgage brokerage group that we meet. That's how I met him. I can get my words out this morning, but that's how we met at that group. You know, it's like I said, just trying to be in the different circles. You know, we talk about NARAB, the National Association for Real Estate Brokers, and all the different organizations that are out there, but this is called NAMBA, and it's geared towards mortgage people. But you have people like Rhonda, yourself, myself, in insurance. So you have people with similar backgrounds and some people with not so similar backgrounds. And you have people, like, once again, who are not even in the industry, who come to those meetings to try to learn and try to uplift themselves and to take themselves to a better place. Like that old song says, I got my mind on my money, got my money on my mind. So, you know, and that's what some of these organizations help you to do. You have to position yourself to be in the right place. And I'm using all my little acronyms, or my little, as I said, too stressed to be blessed, you know. So just be in the right place at the right time and just try to get, like you said, change the paradigm and get with organizations and people that are trying to, you know, do positive things.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
It's kind of that mindset shift. You know, when we're also speaking to the people who don't think that they can, you know, just because of the trajectory of where the life in the past has been, the tradition, the things that in our family line that we didn't ever hear about in conversation. It just wasn't a part of conversation. So that piece of education, we didn't gain. And so now this type of platform and what Victor's talking about opens up your mind to what could be, and we can actually project out there literally like a projector from our mind sight to a blank canvas. What do we really want to see in our life? How do we move forward? You know, one step toward your journey gets you closer to your goal, just one step. So with each of these steps, the gain gets bigger and bigger. So I think that this topic is perfect timing for what we're moving forward to. So, yeah.
And Vic, I got a question for you. You kind of touched on how to kind of do it from a personal standpoint, from your household and things like that. Can you kind of translate and kind of correlate that to the business world, like the investments and other things that you're doing?
Absolutely. That was a big mistake on my end, is that, okay, I thought once I got my personal finances together that I could just jump into business and just kind of do my thing, and it's going to automatically, revenue's just going to fly in. But over this last 2 years, I've invested in doing QuickBooks Online for my businesses, and I'm able to track the same way I was using Mint to track my personal finances. I'm tracking my expenditures, looking at my P&L, my profit and loss statements, because I tell you what, a year ago, had a lot of people had their finances together, a lot more people would have got PPP money and EIDL money and things. But, you bringing in all this money and, putting something else on your tax return. And so it made you look like you didn't generate the kind of revenue that they should support. Mm-hmm. So I think this time around, some people are going to have their books a little bit cleaner and they can put themselves in a better position. But for me, one of the things that happened is, and I love telling this story. So back in 2015, now I'm already relocated. My wife and I, my daughter, we moved to Austin, Texas. And again, the conversations were different. I'm listening to radio shows and things. And this guy introduced me to rental properties. And I've been wanting to invest in real estate for 20 years, but I was so scared. I mean, I had all the information I needed, but I just wouldn't pull the trigger, wouldn't take action. And so something was different about 2015 where I said, man, I never want to go back to the financial situation I was in. And so anyway, got introduced to real estate investing, scraped up a few $1,000s, my own money, maybe 12 grand. And then we found some other alternatives to start investing. And we bought that first rental property. And man, I tell you, that 12 grand, 2 years later, between the cash flow that we made month to month and the equity build up of that property, 2 years later, when we sold the house, we walked away with $43,000 from that $12,000 invested. So we turned this into almost 300% return, more than 300% return on our cash on cash. And so that's when the light really lit up, like, okay, I'm out here grinding and working. I need to make my money work and grind just like me. And so I started putting my money to work. And for me, it was real estate and rental properties and doing investment properties. And so that was a big key for me to start watching. How much do we spend on this, rehab? We don't want to go overboard because this is a rental. We're not trying to flip it, but just a lot. I just learned so much through that experience. And it has me really tracking my dollars better, not only personally, but for sure in my business.
Well, you're a coach, so you're coaching people through investing. And what do you find are the fear-based or discomfort levels? What are people saying that makes them hesitate? Or where do you think that fear is keeping people from moving forward? What does that look like?
It's funny you asked that, Melanie. I actually did a poll with some of my clients over the last year, and 66% of them said that they just were afraid of the tenant process, dealing with tenants and how do we screen people? Am I going to get my rent? That was a big part of it. We've got some tools in place that have ensured that we screen people properly. We use very legal, legitimate lease agreements to make sure that we got that covered. But that was a big part. And then the other part of it is, even for my clients who aren't just looking to get into real estate investing, they just want to buy a house or start a business, and they're afraid to apply because they think their credit or their finances are not in the position that will get them the approval. So why even try? So and I know loan lioness, you've seen this. I'm sure you probably miss out on 25% of your opportunities because people won't even apply. Because they're just like, I don't know what my credit looks like, my money ain't right, I'll try next year. And, we got to get past that, folks. We got to move with the fear. Like you said, Melanie, take the first step. Just focus on one debt that you got out there or that one credit card that's been a thorn in your side. Focus on that and let the momentum from you getting that in place move to the next item and then the next item. And then it becomes a true mindset, a money mindset, that it becomes your habit to, okay, what can I do today to put myself in a better financial position? What can I do today to reduce my debt? What can I do today to become a better person, physically, mentally, all of those things. I put together a morning routine that includes meditation, drinking tons of water, eating some fruit, and actually looking at my finances, and what do I need? That's part of it. it's all part of who I am and what I want to try to continue to spread throughout my household and through those around me. And of course, my clients have been able to benefit from that because now they're implementing these habits into their lifestyle and creating their own money mindset.
Hey,
So
Vic, I got a
if
question for
someone
you.
was interested, I'm sorry, Chris, if someone was interested and they felt like, okay, you know what, you guys are right, I do want to find a way to get coaching and investing, what would they expect with working with you? What would that look like? What can they expect?
I appreciate that question. Well, first of all, and I'll put the slide back up here in a second, but basically all they would need to do is log on to the site, get signed up. You know, we have either online courses or they can schedule private access coaching with me directly. And look, folks, I'm just be honest with you because a lot of people don't want to talk the numbers. I charge $250 an hour. We do $1,897 if you want to do a full month program with me where I'm coaching you through real estate or through your debts or through your budgeting or your entrepreneurship. But for the most part, what we're doing is just making sure that they're getting scheduled with me with these sessions. We do Zoom, or if they're locally, we can meet locally. And we just go through some habits. We go through what your money looks like. We take a look at your finances. What's holding you back? Is it the fear? Is it the finances? Is it the credit? We really try to pinpoint the pain points, and then we just come up with solutions that are specific to that person to help them overcome those things. So if they're hiring me not only to help them get that particular thing accomplished, but also just to change their whole mentality, to start looking at their goals a little bit differently and really getting excited about the person that they're going to be. Our trademark slogan is create your future self. So we want to help you create your future self, and you're going to get, motivational videos sent to you at 7 o'clock in the morning sometime. Hey, what you doing? You getting up? You ready to get busy? Let's go. I'm your accountability partner and making sure even my team members, I got some assistants to help me to make sure that we're on top of our deliverables to our clients. And we take this serious because, again, I remember being in that rut, sitting there like, why I make 90 grand a year? Why don't I have money? And it's a week from payday. I just could not understand that. And so I understand what it feels like to be in that situation. And so we take it very seriously to get our clients to the results that they're looking for.
And I just want to say something, Victor, you're so right. It's about the mindset. Because I was just thinking about, the change in 2021 for even me personally, things that I was spending money on before the pandemic, how I was able to not spend that money and it didn't affect me. Just like those, like you saw those things like, clothes and jewelry and going out to eat. But those kind of things, that's the mindset, because during this time, I was able to sit back and say, you want to know what? I didn't miss those things. And that means that my mind shift had to have changed where you can do without. You can, but even though we were forced to do without, still, I could have been just like anybody else and be Amazon happy. But I felt like I didn't need those things. And it was a mind shift. So you're so right. It's just having that mindset that, I'm going to do things differently.
That's so right. Because, when we looked at excess, if you look around in your house and you think about what you actually have, that and your mindset was to continue to buy and upgrade and get the next thing or whatever. But when you're sitting around and you're sitting in your own space and you're looking around and you see that, why I haven't even worn that in years. Why is it still hanging up? Why do I still have it? And then you find yourself, it's like, where's all this coming from? I mean, so clearing all that out was, for me this year, was one of those things to take a survey of what I actually had. And to Victor's point on finances and, budget income and at home, what am I actually using? What's in the pots and pans? And I mean, everything, you really start looking at it. So yeah, streamlining and minimizing was critical for me. So.
And the thing about it is, it doesn't have to be a permanent, thing where you're locking yourself in and not shopping ever again in life. It's just till you get to a point where that becomes a secondary need. If you're not putting money into your savings or your debt first, that's the problem. Like, you have to look at yourself as a bill. You know, a lot of people don't look at it that way. You know, in this new life that I've been, these last 5 to 7 years have been amazing because 20% of every dollar that comes in is going towards my savings and retirement, so that I can either invest that money or so that we have a nest egg in the event that the world flips upside down again in some other way that we're not expecting, right? But it doesn't mean you got to completely turn into a hermit and live in a cave for the rest of your life, but make some sacrifices for this period of time until, again, you achieve the goal that you wrote down. And then get to that goal and then set a whole nother goal, right? You know, I mean, that's what it's about for me. It was, let me just get that one investment property going. And once I got that one, it was like, okay, I can get 2 by next year. Well, I ended up getting 4 by the next year and then 7 in the following year. And now my goals are like, okay, that was pretty cool, but I need an apartment building so that I can really autopilot this thing. But we got to continue to push ourselves, and you don't have to make it where, you know, well, I'm gonna wear these same drawers and underwear for the next 17 years because I can't go shopping. No, we're not telling you that, but there is an excess that you go beyond at times when it's like, you're not even taking care of what you know, protecting your future just so that you can wear some new Jordans or whatever. These Jordans cost like $1,000 now. These kids out there making big money on these shoes. So those are the type of things that I'm talking about. Just make the small sacrifices and do one little thing and then move on to the next.
Hey, Victor, you know the old saying back in the day, said scared money don't make money. And the question I have for you, because you said you have properties in other states, and that could probably deter some people too. So you can't, at least I don't think, you might have that little jet back at the hangar that you kind of jet off and do something. But how do you take care of that? If you got a property in Chicago or in Atlanta or something like that, and you rent that out, how do you take care of getting your rent and things of that nature?
So I'm happy to accept new clients that want me to walk them through the full process for sure. But one thing I can tell you is there's technology out there today where you don't have to be living next door to the property. And in fact, most of the times, they don't even know who I am, you know, other than me dealing with a property owner, or maybe they're even their realtor or something in the beginning phase. We fix our properties up in the beginning. Anything that's going to be a headache for us in the next 2 to 3 years, water heaters, you know, roofs, AC units, things like that. We fix that stuff in the beginning. That's part of our initial investment. And then from there, again, good tight leases and things like that. And I'm able to manage properties. It's a beautiful thing to be able to, one, wake up and on the first of the month and you got 7, 8 deposits popping in on your phone. Them notifications hit a whole different kind of way than the other notifications you might be seeing. So them money notifications, that's a whole nother thing. But, you know, there are certainly ways to do that. And we're able to walk through a very streamlined process with our clients on how they can do it. Because you're right. You know, if you live in a market like in Atlanta, Dallas even right now has become insane when it comes to real estate prices. You live in LA, New York, some of these high ticket markets, you might want to think about investing outside of your market so you can get a better dollar for that property and you can still manage it that way. And, you know, one of the big goals I have for 2021 is I'm looking to partner with folks that, you know, some people, we talk about this pandemic and people that struggle financially, but some people came up real big in 2020 because they couldn't spend, they're making 10, 12 grand a month and can't take the European vacation, the Caribbean vacations now. They can't do all of these things. And so they just sat at home stacking. And even where they're invested, they might only be seeing 5, 6%, 7% returns. Well, this year, I'm looking to partner with those folks because the deals that we're doing, we're bringing those investors 12 to 15% returns within a 2-year period. They're making money every month on the cash flow on those properties that they invest in with us. And so those are the type of people I want to talk to that are interested in investing in real estate. They got some money, they got 50, 100, 150 sitting that's not really getting the returns that they want to see. And we want to partner with those folks with, you know, we're a trusted entity. We've been doing it. This is real deal. We're not, you know, fly by night investors. We do this for our own self. So we want to help other investors out there. But there's so many ways to make it in the real estate game for sure.
Wow. There's one thing we were talking to about, you know, been talking about on the show as well, Victor, about, you know, like I tell people all the time, 2020 was rough for a lot of people, but some people found silver linings in the cloud. Like you said, they were stacking that money, stacking that cheese, and were able to put themselves in a position to do certain things. I know people's businesses have grown. In fact, fortunately for me, 2020 was one of my best years from a business standpoint. And that's what I tell people, don't try to focus. I know it's bad. Don't get me wrong. By any means, I pray every day, for the pandemic to go away and, the country be safe with all the stuff that's going on. But with that being said, I think God has opened our eyes up to have some, have a positive mindset in the midst of all this that's going on. And if you try to do that, you pray and be diligent, a lot of times you might find a silver lining that can kind of catapult you to the next level as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right. It's kind of like a forced, we were forced to actually think outside the box, where we were, I hate to say mediocrity or maybe just what we knew to be our norm. And so, stretching beyond what is normal is what I know I had to do. I had to, find ways to level up and think beyond what my normal default said. You know what I'm saying? So that helped not only me, but it helped me help others to think outside the box. And this show, bringing people to the platform to offer these helpful suggestions, has critical for 2020, and it helped us. I know we're stronger, and we've got more knowledge, and our reach and connections are even stronger. Matter of fact, I just want to throw out there that an hour ago, y'all know Tabitha Brown liked our Building Wealth Together platform. So hey, we're getting some connections out there that people actually we're getting that visibility, and this is the best platform to be able to reach a lot of people with a lot of good information. So
right, and it's been awesome information today, Victor. I mean,
I'm just overflowing. I appreciate this opportunity. I mean, again, I just love the title, Building Wealth Together. And let's just talk about this. Some hard stats out there. The average Caucasian family has a net worth in their household of $171,000. That was 2019 numbers. I'm sure it's even higher than that now. The average African-American family, a household, has a net worth of about $17,000. You can't even buy a good car with that nowadays. So if you think about it, we got to close that wealth gap. And we're starting to see some shifts in things because of the murder of George Floyd and things like that. But we also need to understand that we still got to be in a position where even though the banks may open up to us a little bit more than they were a year ago or 2 years ago, we still got to have our ducks in a row. We got to be organized and structured and have our things, be about your business. And if you don't know what that means, get with a mentor, get with somebody who can help you get that stuff lined out perfectly. And then if nothing else, I do want to share one last piece of advice for folks. If you really want to create a money mindset, and Zig, you said it a minute ago, it's about being positive and having a more positive outlook on things, but you're not going to get a consistently positive outlook on things by jumping to tune on CNN real quick, 18 hours of the day. You're strolling through your phone and looking at everything negative out there. And we know that stuff is out there, but why do you have to be the one that's on the front lines of consuming it in all day?
Yeah,
you already know it's out there. So you don't have to sit and consume it, into your mind, because that now becomes part of you and part of your DNA. And so now your whole attitude has changed because you're thinking about the 4,000 people that died yesterday from COVID, or because, 30 million people filed for unemployment. Like, that stuff is real for sure, but you don't have to be consuming it all day to where it's making up who you become. So pick up a book. Listen to these kind of broadcasts, just be around people that are talking about things that are a little bit more positive, and you'll find yourself feeling better. Again, before I even invite the world into my life, and I'm as social media as anybody out there, my team and I, we put all kinds of stuff out, but it's scheduled. Like, my mornings, I'm not sitting there typing up all this stuff. I'm actually meditating, getting my body right, getting my mind right, and figuring out how I'm going to be intentional with this day. How am I going to be of service to somebody today? Like, I may not even know who's going to call me today, but I'm going to be of service to anybody that comes into my path, whether it's online or offline, and being positive about that. And, you know, givers are receivers. The more that you give out there to the universe, the more the universe gives back to you. Wow. So that's what a money mindset is creating the person that you really want to be in life and doing everything that you can, little bit by little bit, to become that person.
That puts it in perspective in such a substantial way. And while you were talking, I was thinking, you know, you're bundling up and tracking, you know, breaking down your day and starting with positivity and thankfulness and just being grateful and, you know, exuding that positivity, and it flows through your family, your household, and your people that you talk to on the phone, and your connections get broader because people see you for your authenticity and who you are. And that is so very important. So when you talk about tracking, one thing that I did think of was just like tracking your budget and your expenses and paying down debt and connecting with people, tracking your time, like you said. What are we doing from the time we wake up to the time we go to bed? What are we doing with our time? How much of it, if we tracked how much we were on our phone, you know, how much are we scrolling? Literally. I mean, what are we doing? Yeah, I know that there's business in association, because that was one of the things I had to level up, and still leveling up on the social media and, you know, using Facebook Live and different things and different platforms. However, how does that fit in my whole self? How do I contribute to my family, my household, without sitting in a space too long doing, you know, the binge watching, you know, what could I be doing in replacing the binge watching TV, you know, the Netflix? How can I take one thing, like you said, just take one thing and say, instead of the Netflix binge, why not pick up that book that is, you know, what was your name of your book, Victor?
Proven Pathways to Wealth and Happiness. That's it right there.
Oh, I want my autographed copy.
Yes, come on.
I got y'all.
We certainly want to pick up that book. And where would they find that again?
So they can get it at Amazon, or they can go to, I'm going to put my contact information up here again, NicoDonProjects.com. For those people that might be a little bit challenged with the Nico Don spelling, they can go to VictorVJohnson.com as well and get that as well. You know, this is the name of the book, Proven Pathways of Wealth and Happiness. And here's my contact. I would love to connect with folks on my socials. You know, follow me as the Lioness knows, you know, every Monday, got my Mindset Monday. And I just truly believe in putting out positive energy to start the week for, you know, it might be one person out there that really got something from it. And as it turns out, every Monday I get at least 7 to 10 people that inbox me, hey man, I'm so glad I came across your post today. Or, you know, it's just, that inspires me to know that I'm able to make some kind of impact with folks. But I really want, you know, if anybody is serious about getting the support that they need to take their finances to the next level, you want to get into real estate investing, you want to start your business or scale your business, you know, I've gotten extremely good at that. And I got resources within my network and within my own team to help people. Hire me, you know, invest in yourself. You know, if you invest in buying some shoes, some cars and rims and whatever else, invest in yourself so that this time next year, you 50,000 stronger, you $100,000 stronger. You know, that's what it takes. And yeah, you may have to spend a couple grand to get there, but that's what it's going to take, because we're investing, we're making all these other companies rich. You know, invest with a Black business owner. I'm certified business owner here in Texas. I'm Hub certified. And you know, again, this is all about trying to help us build up our total community, our people. And I just want to be that person that helps our folks.
Hey, Victor, I'm going to cut you off real quick. You said you what certified? You said Hub certified?
Hub certified, yes.
Can you kind of give people a kind of brief overview of that? Just a quick synopsis of what that is?
Yes, so Hub is historically underutilized businesses. It's a national program, but each state has its own little setup. So for Texas, I'm Hub certified. And what that does is it gives you a stamp of a minority or a woman-owned business. Anything but white-owned business is basically considered minority-owned business. And so If you fall into a particular category, look it up on your state, Google it. You know, again, you Google everything else. Google historically underutilized businesses. And what that does is once you become certified, which is an extremely easy process, is basically just proving that you are licensed, you got a bank account, you are 51% or more owned by that minority entity. And you get this certificate that shows you're minority owned, and you begin to get emails. I get emails every day for state contracts that my company can bid on against other people. So it kind of puts you a little bit ahead of the line of others that might be looking to get those contracts. If you want to do business with the state, do business with school districts and things like that, it definitely is a huge feather in your hat to be minority certified with your business. So that's why I want you
to bring that up real quick, is because a lot of people don't realize that minority doesn't, a lot of people think about race and color and ethnicity. Now, like it says women, if you're handicapped, you know, I don't want to leave any letters out, but if you know the LGBTQT, and forgive me if I missed the letter, guys out there, but you know, it's everybody out there. So it's not just if you're Hispanic, Black, you know, minorities, women. Even, you know, some people are like, how did that white person get it? Well, it's a white woman, you know, so she is a woman. So you have to look at all the different, you know, aspects out there of being a minority. So don't just think it's all about race anymore.
Absolutely. It's a way to level the playing field. And so, you know, again, and you can go in every day and update your profile to change. You decide to switch your business model. Well, I don't want to focus on credit now. I want to focus on real estate now, or whatever kind of contracts, especially those trades out there. If you're doing, you know, trade work, you know, you do handiwork for houses and whatnot, become certified and get that contract with the school district. So now instead of getting, you know, these $1,000 contract for a house to do some work on a house, now you're getting a contract with the school district that's $50,000 for the school year or something like that. Like, that's life-changing money, because you can now project your business because you know you got this contracted money coming in, as opposed to, well, I got to get out here, market, put some flyers out so I can get some more clients. Still do that, but get your contracts locked in as well. So those are the type of things that we talk about with a money mindset. And if you all don't mind, I just want to invite people real quickly. Myself and another partner of mine, we're doing a 3-day training, private training. It's free, but you do have to register for it. And starting Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night, Central Standard Time at 7 p.m., we created an event called Dominate Today. We want you to dominate your finances, your business today. So some of you may be familiar with Brandon Powell. He's huge on LinkedIn, but he is a business branding expert. And so I partnered with him. I'm going to be speaking on the real estate side, how you can create wealth there. He'll focus on the branding. But we welcome as many people out there. If you want to get some more privatized coaching, you know, again, this is just, we're giving back to the community to start the year off right. Those that want to take it further, you have an opportunity to do that. But this is something we're doing this week, and I would love to get as many folks in there as possible.
Well, I'm already signed up. Yes. So, yeah. So the audience, yes, please join, sign up. Let's get this information. Like you say, build that mindset, build a stronger community. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Well, it looks like we're getting close to, it's time for just our final thoughts and round robin. Chris, you want to start us out?
Okay. And Victor, I just want to thank you, man, once again for being on here. He's an awesome dude. He has the heart like we do as well. He don't care if it's 1 to 100, he's going to give you the same energy. With one person to 100, that was key. Some people say they can get at least 30 or 40 people, they don't want to do it. Like us, I don't care if it's just one. We're going to take care of you just like if it's 1 to 1,000 or 1 million. We're going to do the same thing. But once again, I want to thank you for that. And once again, I'm Chris Zeigler with the Zeigler Agency Allstate, located in Frisco, Texas. And I serve the whole state of Texas. And just want you guys to give me a call if you have any insurance needs or need advice, or just want a consultation as well at 214-870-4269. You can either call me at 214-870-4269. You can either call or text me. And I am going to be doing a coat drive with the Zeigler Agency at my office on January the 30th, the 5th Saturday of this month. And I know hopefully my co-host is going to be out there with me as well. And I'm going to have more information about that as well. But if you want to drop off some coats during the week, my office hours are 9 to 6, Monday through Thursday, 9 to 5 on Friday. So if you want to drop some off, you don't think you'll be able to make it at that time, drop as many coats as you can. of course, either new or gently used. We don't want something that's kind of ragged out that you don't want, but something that you would be, appreciative of giving to somebody as well. Go ahead,
And what's
Rhonda.
that address, Chris? What's your address?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's 8750 West Main Street in Frisco, Texas. 8750 West Main Street in Frisco, Texas. I'm Suite 203. And the area, I'm sorry, the zip code, not the area code, is 75034. And see, Victor's gonna make me stake my game up again. I'll have to get me like a little PowerPoint so I can have that up on the next show. So, see, I learned.
Each one
teach one. So I learned something today. So I'm gonna put pressure on myself to do that.
Okay,
go ahead.
Go, Chris. Go ahead, Melanie.
All right. Well, I'm Melanie Williamson. They call me Melanie Michelle, the credit education, credit restoration. Hey, reach out to someone. You know what? Taking the first step, discipline yourself, survey where you are. And you know what? Victor, Chris, Rhonda, Roz, myself, we're available. Reach out to us, and you can reach me at 469-403-8394. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you, Victor, for being here. Rhonda?
Yes. And again, I'm Rhonda Hutchison. The loan line is with Paramount Residential Mortgage Group. You can give me a call at 214-856-3747. Once again, that's 214-856-3747. Contact me in regards to any of your residential mortgage lending needs. And so excited. Thank you again, Mr. Victor Vonico Johnson, for being our
VJ.
Yeah, VJ, double VJ.
Double VJ.
All right, you guys have an awesome day. Happy Saturday, and you guys be blessed. Bye-bye.
Bye.